leave Prince open the background. You can open Olivia's own
Olivia's
first. She was really eager to know how she performed. So let's look at that.
Olivia you submitted babes.
I
We don't
submitted
catch
late,
you.
but but I told you I wasn't feeling fine. I'm so sorry. I stayed up all night, so I stayed up all night. I slept by 6.
Sorry.
Wow.
Forgive my iniquities.
Thank you. Yeah, forgiving.
All right, so we have Olivia's on here.
Okay, this is the game details.
I don't know why I can't scroll.
Conditions. Wow, she added conditions. Okay, that's nice.
Wow. Senior QAs. Okay.
Would I want to say this is a bit better than Prince's work? But it's not just about volume, it's also about the scenarios you're also trying to execute.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's just go through them.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow. I like what you did with your test case name. The fact that you use TC dash the feature name, that is very good. That is very, very good. So it is easy for anyone to just know what module they want to look at. So for everyone you can just take note of this. In case if you don't have like a Jira ticket or a ticket ID, if you're just going to just use the traditional way of writing the test case name, you can just use it like this. Just a way to identify which module this is speaking to. So this is very good. Okay, login valid, username and password. Login wrong password, wrong username, empty fields. Okay, system should lock account after 2 minutes attempts. Okay, if features exist. Okay, system should redirect to correct dashboard after login. Okay, that's nice. Okay, your inputs were nice. Okay, click login. Okay, result, actual results. User is referred to the dashboard. So, Olivia, for this, I think the third test case. Why do you have case 1 pass, case 2 fail? I'm a bit confused.
It's because, so what I noticed is that when I did, okay, what is that one? Let me see. So can you read it for me, goodness, please? I have small eye problem.
Are you sure it's small? Which one is that?
The input number 3. Where it has the case 1 and case 2. I think is enter correct username and wrong password, right?
So login 3.
Forgot password, right?
No, not forgot. It's for login, actually. It's for login.
It's for login. So for that case,
username.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Enter wrong email.
Okay.
Wrong username and correct password.
No. It's enter correct username. Okay, yes. Enter wrong username and correct password. So for that case 1, what I tried first was the normal thing, enter wrong username and the correct password. But I made a mistake like when I was doing it. So I put small letter A and it still opened.
Okay. So can you explain it? Okay, use small letter A instead of capital letter A for the admin.
Yes, I used small letter A and it still opened. It wasn't supposed to open, I think, in my own, because I'm like, okay, is it because it's admin? It's still the same ADMIN and it's still opened. It should be capital letter A. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, so that is so kudos for recognizing that, but most systems are really not that case sensitive. So let me give you an example now. Imagine so what's your email what's your email address?
It's onidede@gmail.com.
Okay, Oni. Okay, you start with does it start with capital letter O or a small letter O?
Small letter.
So do you know that if you use capital letter O in the beginning of your email, you'll still be able to log into Gmail with that username?
Oh, okay. I never knew. I've never tried it.
Yeah. So like yes, you can either capital letter or small letter. If for the first, yeah.
Even when I'm trying to send my email address to people, I'm very like, because on your phone, it will just automatically give you the capital letter. I always go back and clean it and do small letter. I've always thought that it would not go through.
So for the first alphabet, it's not really like that. But anything other than the first, yes, it has to follow the exact capital and case sensitivity of the email or the username. For example, that like maybe your O could be small letter, your Y is capital. Yes, so that next one would have to be capital letter. If not, it may or may not flag it. It just depends on the system. So
Okay.
my advice is you should have written another test case for that. Maybe you can so it not be too jumbled up together. So like even if you explained it to me, I wouldn't know that's what you're trying to achieve. You get maybe you could have another one that says login with valid username but wrong case sensitivity. Like maybe you can English is
okay. I understand.
Yeah, that is just English.
They
Yeah.
don't catch you.
But kudos, nice. I like how detailed it is. Can you okay? Let's see how. Goodness, can you scroll to the right? Let's see the other columns that she has. Okay. Okay, test type. Okay, functional
That's
test.
at night you do all these things.
Yes, I did it at night after I spoke to you. I slept when I texted you was when I just closed my laptop.
That's fine. Hold on.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. This is
serious.
actually lovely. Okay, so you actually even give the testing type for functional testing. Okay, can I know why you use functional testing for your test type?
So I want because we don't know any all those machine things yet. So I just checked and I saw that the functional and not functional is like the functional testing is like positive and negative like outcomes, and it's manual. So I don't have any knowledge of any automation anything. So I just chose that because I didn't want to write manual testing. I wanted it to have like, so I went to the notes that I made and I saw that functional testing can capture this. That's why I used it.
Yes. Well, you do know that this your test case is actually manual test you are performing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for the test type, it's supposed to be manual test, not function. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. But case of next time, functional, because
I should just
functionality.
manual.
Yes. So functionality are basically testing the logic of the system. Non-functional test is not the UI, the position, just the user, just the interface of the system, right?
Yes.
Like the interface exactly. So maybe because of next tech, just your test type should just be manual. We understand that we are testing the functionality of that feature, yes, but is it manual? Is it an automated test? So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So let's
already.
So, and if it was automation I did, I should just also put automation testing there as well. I don't need to go into details of what I did. Or that is different.
I think that's all he meant. But
okay.
Oh, he just joined.
Okay.
Well, guys, it's network.
So I asked a question. I said if it was automation testing that I did, I would just put automation there. I don't need to go into the details of which kind that I did. Or is it different for?
So we know we have defectable automation tests, right? So it could be UI, AI, or you're performing loads or automation load tests.
Okay.
I think you specify it in your test script itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So just Excel can have multiple sheets, right? You can have a sheet that speaks to UI test, another one that speaks to purely API. So on the one for UI test, you will specify which ones are manual and which one is automated. They can also have one that speak to load tests and the likes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it.
Yes, definitely. Okay, let's scroll down. Let's see if you. I think I gave three features besides login. What else did I give again?
Forgot password and admin.
Okay, let's go to the admin. I'm curious to see how you captured.
That admin was a bit difficult.
Yes. I know that most people might want to run away from the admin side, but if you wrote it, okay, you have a couple of tests on the admin. All right, so admin can log in and access the admin panel. Admin can view new user, valid info. Admin can edit user info, deactivate, delete, or delete. In as much, so it's nice. It's always good to like separate
Separate
your
it.
test. So
Okay.
looking at this, your admin test 03,
Mm,
right?
yes.
If I were the one, that is like three test cases already. Yeah, and you merge
Ah,
them into yes. Because remember that you're giving an instruction, right? Your test case is your instruction. Your test
yes.
scenario is what you want to test. So your instruction, you're telling them to perform edits, updates, and
Mm,
deletes.
mm,
So how do you know that you didn't miss out something on the edit functionality? So
okay.
now for the edit, maybe there are some fields that should not be able to, you should not be able to edit. Like maybe there's some compulsory field that wants to create a user, you cannot edit their let's say user type, for
Mm,
example. So you
okay.
cannot that although it could be system, it could be based on the system. So okay. So just
Mm,
try to just make your test more detailed
okay.
because anybody can pick this to be like, how did she do just in just
Mm,
one test? She did edit, deactivate, and delete at the same time. The first thing
okay.
the first thing they're going to look at is your outcome. User info update successfully. User is removed from the list. So what about so now user is removed from the list? Is that one speaking to delete or deactivated?
It's true. I get your point now.
So you see why it's always good to have them separated so that when
Yes.
anyone just pick it up, they'll know what you're trying to achieve. All
Okay.
right. So admin can assign roles and permission. Also, yeah, you covered ground. I won't lie. Like this is really detailed, but you merge them a lot. You could have even had more test cases. All right, admin
Yes.
can company details, update settings. All right. This is nice. This is nice. New job title, departments and stuff. New job title, department and stuff. Sorry, this for your test for your admin 05. What are you
Okay.
trying to achieve? Yeah. So you said
Admin.
new job titles and staff. Is that staff? I'm not. No, why it's not
Yes,
displayed
it's
well.
no and shifts.
Okay.
And
Okay,
shifts.
and shift.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Goodness, it's clear now.
Uh-huh. Yes, and
So
shifts.
yes. So, but now remember that this is your expected outcome. So if I'm
Mm,
a Q now and I don't understand this system and I pick this up and I see
yeah.
your expected outcome is just you just wrote new job titles, department, and shifts, I'll be
Okay.
confused. I'll be like, okay, so I get that that is like the details of the user. What should it do? Like, what am I expecting to see?
Okay.
You
So I should number. So I've seen now that I should not have added so many things together that are related. I should have,
yeah,
separated it. I would have had more test cases, and then I
yeah,
also have to be very elaborate in my so that the person reading my documents can understand exactly. So they don't keep
yes.
calling me.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Because imagine if you're in an organization whereby before they approve your test case, someone reviews it. Trust me,
Mm-hmm.
if you have some really detailed QAs out there that they'll send you back to redo this thing like almost 10 times, so that could be frustrating. So
Okay. Yes.
it's always nice to just take your time. Okay, I understand that you do overnight too, but that's why we didn't really want you guys to. We gave you guys time to do this, but everybody have their lives. Everybody have their different things to handle. So it's fair. It's fair. But kudos, you did a nice. This really nice. Okay, you can view logs,
Yeah.
activity, and reports. Okay, and it's still the same thing. I'm just saying, just try and make it
Mm,
don't merge instructions together. I think I'll be using the word instruction instead of test cases now. Don't merge instructions together. Try and
okay.
give different instructions, and also let your outcomes and your actual result be detailed. Goodness,
Okay.
can you scroll to the right? Let's see if we have any comments or any
The
fields.
reason the reason why I wasn't too elaborate with that. I was going to do that, but I thought, okay, so what will now be in the comments?
In the comments.
The QA comments, is it not supposed to like explain what happened in the actual and expected results? Like,
No. So remember, like I said, that QA comment is not, it's not compulsory you have any. It can be empty. It's only if
yeah,
you notice and like something unusual.
abnormally. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And you just have to just point it out. So that's where
Hmm,
you can
okay.
make use of
Yeah.
the QA,
Comment.
the QA
Yeah.
comments.
Okay.
Exactly. So let's look at this one, that this field scenario. Goodness, can you scroll to this number 27 on the sheets? Let's see the instruction that was given. Okay, at least you have a field test. Okay, so if they forgot password, check emails are sent properly and don't go to spam. Okay.
So there was no place to put our emails. It was only username and password. So I tried to create another something that would take me to my email, but there was no email on the website.
Okay. So now it's for something like this. Now you cannot have QA comments. Yes, it's failed, but you cannot leave a comment that, like, maybe you cannot suggest improvement, that there should be a field for users to input their email to send forgot password, and also that once they input their emails and they click on forgot password, that they should also get an email prompting them to reset their password. So for things like that, that's what you can put in your QA comment. But for this, you definitely need to raise a defect for this.
Okay, so what would I have put it separately from this table?
No. Your defect would not
In
be here. Yeah, it will be
okay.
in a different documentation, a different
Oh,
document.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. This is a very nice test case. Well done. You did really good.
Okay.
Okay. We
Yeah,
have someone's
Phoenix.
hands up.
Yeah, I'm really curious about Mrs. Owen because he has 53. And that's the
Yes.
highest I've seen. So I'm really curious to know what is in there. But
Yes.
Daniel, you have a question?
Okay.
Daniel, you have a question?
No, is it my own Daniel? Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Goodness.
you raised your hand. Hi, good
Okay,
afternoon.
I wanted you guys to open my own.
Oh, okay. Phoenix, what do we do?
So today's class is all about text execution, which is practically what we are doing now. So we've written the test cases and we're now trying to execute the test. So yes, I guess we can just spend like 30 minutes on that. So okay, Daniel, we'll look at your own, but I think the next person on was after Olivia, I think it was Esther. I think she said she wanted us to look at hers. So let's open Esther's on, then we'll open Daniel's and Prince. I think that'll be all for everyone on. I think then we'll take our time to look at the correction. We'll make it corrections that will speak to every other person. I think we can do it like that.
Are we
Esther,
going to look? Sorry.
Yeah, Olivia, you want to talk something?
Are we going to look at the test plan as well? Not for this class.
maybe not for this. I don't know. Your facilitator will say.
Okay.
Let's see how far we can go with the test cases. If there's time, we'll just briefly look at the test plan. Maybe we'll just look at just two people's test plan.
Esther, Esther,
Okay.
is this your own? Hi, Esther, are you here? Oh, she's not here. So let's move to Daniel.
Okay. Can move to Daniel, but I think what we're going to will say that is not really that detailed. And Esther, if you can hear us, just like you said, you don't rush to do it. Take your time to write your test case. Because if maybe I'm your superior, you send this to me, I'll tell you to go redo it again. that your test scenarios. Uh, just take your time to do it. Like it's not it's I get what you're trying to achieve, but it's not really that detailed. I feel you can just, especially the admin side. Yeah, you merged a lot. So guys, let's try not to merge tests together. It makes it doesn't really make it nice. Just try to be as detailed as possible. Expand your test cases. It's okay to have like 1 million test cases as long as they are sensible test scenarios, so test instructions. Yeah, so that's just it. Let's move on to the next. Let's look at Daniel's one.
Danielson. Daniel.
While you're looking for Daniel, so Victor, I can see your hands up.
Check my own, please.
All right. So we'll see if there's time for that. So have in mind. But I think the person who are really well, I think we're all curious to see if their own is Prince. So Prince, we'll look at your own. Olivia own was amazed. I'm curious to see how Prince did his own. So let's look at this. Okay, I first of all I like this arrangement. This is nice. It's always good to separate your features, guys. So this is so let's take of this. Okay, so login. We've got a field test. Okay, that's nice. So just 3 test cases. Verify that password has set minimum of 8 characters. Okay. Load the login URL, enter username, enter password less than 8 characters. If it shows error and it shows an error message, password is less than 8 characters. Okay, accept password with password with less than 8 characters. It should display error. Okay, good. So now for this first, okay, Olivia, this also goes back to what I was trying to explain. As you can see now, right? Look at what whose work is this?
Daniel.
Sorry, okay, Daniel. Look at how Daniel did his own QA comment, right? He had a failed result, but he also like gave his own QA. It should display error message that passed to the minimum of 8 characters. Now, so most of the times when we're testing, right, we QAs we have our own idea of how things should be, like maybe like kind of an improvement. So whenever your product owner or product manager gives you the acceptance criteria, that is so it may not be as detailed as your own test cases and test scenario. There are some things that are just like, oh, instead of us just align only 6 digits as password, why not just make it minimum of 8 so to be more secure. So and if you have a valid reason for that, why not? You can pick it up as an improvement. So that's the function of this QA comment. So this is good. This is nice. Verify that a field is empty. That if a field is empty, the login can't be true. So English, guys, English. I know that yes, we need to also try and make our English. Just try and avoid grammatical error. So if you say, I know they're trying to achieve right, but saying verify that if a field is empty, the login can't be true. So login can't be true is a bit confusing, right? But I know they're trying to achieve. They're trying to achieve that. Okay, if your email field is empty, you can't log in. But just try to reward it so that anyone at all. It might not be someone that's so conversant with English. Like it could be working in an international company, right? And their English is not so great. So they'll be wondering what they're trying to explain. So let's just try to be very careful with how we write our test cases. All right, so load the login URL, enter. Okay, click on the login button. Okay, it should display an error message indicating that field is empty. Okay, display required. It's display required in the empty field. Okay, so let me just point this out. For your expected result, right? You said it should display an error message indicating that the field is empty, right? It's always good to put and quote your error message, right? I think that's the way I did the last time that someone had to vote. Like I think someone called me out for that. Like I should actually specify the error message that should be displayed. Then your actual result is not. It's the system displays. Remember English, guys. So it displays the error message. So you're trying to tell that okay, yes, it should, that's you're expected, but actually it displays. So just English. So, but I like your okay. You must specify your testing type. Good. Manual test. Okay. This is nice. This is nice. Let's can you scroll down to let's see what it did for the admin side. Okay, we have a couple of tests. Okay, you didn't really update your. Okay, yes, you did, but you didn't really follow through with your color for the QA status. Color is color, but that's nice. Verify that the add button is clickable. Okay, good. Some UI functionality, nice. Verify that a user details can be shown when the wrong row is in. Verify if a user detail can be shown when the wrong row is imputed. Also, just try to make it more clear and easy to understand. So just don't forget about that, because you might the person that tried to pick this up will not really understand. So log into the dashboard, navigate to enter your right username, select the wrong row, select the wrong row, select the wrong row. Verify that if user details can be shown when the wrong row is imputed. Okay, so for this particular one, I'm really confused on what you're trying to achieve. So Daniel, I don't know if you can like just explain what you're trying to achieve with this for this your admin 002.
Oh. So okay, the what I wanted to achieve is when you log into the admin page, that's user management, you can find a search button where you can you're on the top. So I was like, maybe when you've entered the user details using the wrong rule, like so maybe I search for Daniel on the page, enter my username, enter everything, then impute admin instead of es
Okay,
as the
okay,
on the row part, something like that.
okay. I get. So
Yes.
exactly. So now that you explain it to me, I understand what you're trying to achieve, but you didn't really capture it well here. So what you're trying to achieve is you're
Okay.
trying to test for a search functionality. So you're searching for
Yes.
a valid user, but incorrect rule type, right? So the user, maybe for example, I'm searching for a user John. John exists on the system, but John is, let's say, he's an ESS user type, not an admin. And now on the drop down, you select admin and you type John in the search button and you click on search. So what should happen is that there should be no user, there should be no record found, because John as an admin does not exist. So that's what they're just trying to explain. So you see why it's always good to have detailed and clear test cases, so that test execution would not be difficult. Because heck, you could be in a place whereby your work is just writing test case, and you have another QA that is just meant to execute your test cases, right? So you would not want to have frequent calls. Like for example, maybe if you're working in the same place and you've already done your part writing the test case, and you don't think that, oh, we can relax. The next thing you're seeing a call from me saying that, boss, I don't understand this from test case 2 to 5. Can you please explain? That's a lot of time waste, and maybe it could be on a tight timeline. So it's always good to any test case you're writing, and before you send it out for review, just make sure that it's clear and detailed enough. Okay.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
all right, you're welcome. But good work, right? You really did a good job. Just that you just try to make it more detailed, and that also goes to every one of us. Whenever we're trying to write any test case, remember these are instructions that anyone, not only you, it's not just for yourself. Always remember that this is someone maybe the next like 2-3 years could pick it up and want to retest a particular feature that you've tested before. So try always make it clear. All right, so let's still be looking at verify user can be shown when the wrong goal is imputed. Verify. Okay. Confirm that the edit button is clickable and takes user to the right page and delete user. Okay. Nice work. But you guys can also make it detailed. So you and Olivia, people did good work. I like the arrangement. I like the design and the scenarios that was captured. Yes. So this is really good. Who is the next person we're going to? I think
Are we going to look at Victor's zone before we move to Prince's zone? Or should
yes.
we look at Prince's zone then move to Victor's zone?
So let's look at Victor's zone. Prince zone is really it's plenty. I'm curious. I really want to take my time to look at what Prince did on his own. So let's look at Victor's own.
Victor, your work better be this thing. Is it Victor Para? Upper, I don't know.
Victor Debbie.
Okay, Debbie. Let me check. Oh, okay. We don't have access to it.
Okay, guys. Also, another thing, when sharing online documents, it's always necessary to be careful. Always try to grant access to the person that's going to review your document. Right. So that is another thing you guys should also be careful about. So I can see people sending their Google Drive. You don't need to even send us the folder. Okay, yeah. You can send the folder too if you put everything in it. Anyway, it's okay. So since we don't have access to Victor's own, let's move to Prince. Let's see what Prince did. Okay, we have someone has this. Abigail, your hands is up.
Okay, I wanted to say for those that like those you skipped, can I be replaced with them?
Okay. All right, let's go for it. So, but I hope we'll be able to have access to yours, so we can just quickly look at that.
Yes.
All right, let's look for Abigail's.
Abigail, you better be okay. I've said it. We have access to it.
All right, great. Okay, nice. Separated it. Okay, good. It's like everybody just separated their own into different modules. I'm happy about that. That's nice. All right. Okay, even separated between positive and negative.
Telling me that you're not separate.
It's you, Olivia.
No, it's okay, but you still specified the feature, so which is also good. So Abigail, your test case is looking like something that AI generated. Let me not talk sharp.
No, yes. You said I think the last meeting we had with Goodness, she said something about you using your words right. So I inputted it. So I just asked AI to help me to like in a professional way because she was saying we need to use like to verify, to ensure, we need to use all those words. So that's I did. But
Oh,
for the test cases I did it, but just that for the weddings and everything I used AI to rearrange it to make it sound professional.
Yes, I understand. See, I'm just teasing you. There's nothing wrong with using AI to help generate test case, but AI will never it's not going to be as detailed as possible. Trust me, I use it a lot. Right? There's something I only use AI when maybe I can't think of other scenarios and I feel like maybe I'm missing something out. So I'll just ask the AI, okay, like help me. I'll give it the acceptance criteria and what the efficient testing and then to generate unique edge cases for me. So it's not like so most of the times the test that will be generated with things I might have covered or are not even necessary. So that's just it. But don't mind me, it's still cool. So let's look at this valid login, verify user can log in by credentials. Okay, your steps is here. Okay. Too much spacing. So next time, if you the way you each of the columns they are too far apart. So just try to just reduce it a little, right? So let's go to the right quickness. Let's see how user is able to okay. Remember okay, I think you're trying to say remember the check okay, me checkbox should be designed implemented. Okay, let's see this field test. Let's see the instruction for what you're trying to achieve. That's I think number 5, right?
number 5, yeah. Number 5.
Remember me checkbox. Okay, to verify remember me checkbox retain session. Oh, okay, that's remember me button. Okay, so on the remember me button, login valid credential, close and reopen browser, user login information. Okay, and goodness, can you scroll to the right? Okay, User is logged in or credential is pre-refilled. So your expected result is user remain logged in or credentials are pre-refilled. Then your actual result is user remain. So how is it failed? Because I can see your expected and actual results are the same, or is it a mistake?
Sorry, which feature are you talking about so that I can trace it from my
5.
The
The same
remember me
one.
checkbox.
invalid username and password?
No, remember me checkbox. There's the one that I
Okay,
think, yeah, the one that has a um,
okay for
field.
the but on the whole login phase there was no remember me password, so that's why I said the expected result I expected was that was supposed to be there should be user remain logged in or credentials are pre-filled.
Yeah, so since
Um,
you have a field test, right? You should actually you should document the system's results. Maybe if the functionality was not working, you should specify like what happens. Is it that even after clicking on the remember me checkbox, when the user close the tab and open it again, the user have to start afresh by putting his username confident, and maybe it does not pre-fill the form. So that's what you should use. So it's not that you should have exactly what is in the expected results to be the same in the actual results. You get?
oh yes, I do. Okay, please check also this other part of the had where the status is failed too. That has incorrect username or
Okay.
probably.
So, all right. Goodness, can you scroll to the left? Let's see the test case action. Hmm. All right. Invalid username recovery to ensure error is shown for non-existent username. So just try to be more detailed with this, because I know what you're trying to achieve, but didn't really capture it well. But let's see your steps. Enter non-existent existing username. Click on reset password. Error. Username not found. Okay, good. So goodness, can you scroll to the right?
All right.
Username not found. Then okay, your message is success message. Reset password link have successfully sent pop up. Good. Now look at this one. This was good, right? You have an expected result, which is error message. Just be more detailed with your explain with your. I think overall, the just be more detailed in what you're trying to explain. You can use the error message. This should be displayed. Then you specify the page where you want it to be displayed. Then your actual results. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Then your actual results, the success message. Okay, this is good. This is good. Like you can see, you're expecting the actual results is difference. Then you have a field status. Did you put a QA comment? QA comment is not compulsory for behind every, but it's always a nice to have. All right.
Okay,
So
I included a Q comment. I said an error message username not found should pop up.
okay. All right. All
No,
right.
we are
All right.
just learning, so sometimes our English is not strict.
Yes, I understand. I understand. Where you all get the hang of it. After, but I have written like 1,000 test cases, you master.
Yay.
Ah, don't worry. You see. Anyways, let's
Thank
go down.
you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Before we continue, I think someone hands is up. Let her hand not be up.
Evangeline.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Do you have a question?
Nah, I don't have a question. Good afternoon, everyone. Please, I
Yeah.
want to confirm something. Because everybody's taking correction for their own. Please, I want to ask, when um the mentors go through our own, how are we going to then get correction for we that they are not like opening documents here? Because I believe we can't do everybody's own here. I don't know. So can we get correction maybe after marking and all to just tell us what we didn't do right and all?
Okay. Felix, do you want to take that or should I take that?
Goodness, you can take it. Let me hear what my boss would say.
Okay. So, Felix already mentioned that while you're giving feedback to other people,
Okay.
definitely you have one or two things you need to pick from there. I
Okay.
mean, it's trying to cover most of the important things. So while giving other people feedback, just pick from there and then look at
Okay.
your own too. So it's even important to open your own too. And
Okay.
while he's giving the feedback, be doing the correction on your own, because I know that almost everybody did the same thing actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayoga. Thanks. Don't leave me. Hi, Phoenix. If you're speaking, you are.
Sorry, yeah, yes, I was muted. Okay. So let's okay, sorry, let's just look at the admin side.
All right.
Okay. New user list, adds new user by search, adds user existing username, add this to verify system improvements, duplicates. Okay. Can you scroll to the right?
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, still the same thing. Just make your test case and your instructions to be more detailed so that anyone can just speak and easily understand what you're trying to explain. I think your hand is still up, or do you have another question, or is it from previous?
You mean me?
Uh,
Oh, I
no,
don't
not.
have.
I
All right,
mean,
thank you very much for the feedback. Yeah.
Evangeline. I'm not pronouncing that well, but yeah, or Uchenna. So let me just call him the quote I'm familiar with. Uchenna, your hands is still up. Oh, okay. I guess that was a mistake. So Victor, your hands are up. Do you have a question? Hi,
Good
Victor, your
afternoon,
hands.
everyone.
All right, good afternoon.
Yeah. So my question is on this. Like I was testing something this week, so I noticed the website wasn't having like standard practice for password protection and some other standard practice. So when writing a test case for that scenario now, which wasn't implemented on that website initially by the developer, when writing a test case for that scenario, and I failed the scenario, am I right for doing that, or just want to clarify because it wasn't what they implemented? I hope you get my question.
Felix,
Hello?
you're speaking. Amazing.
Yeah. Sorry. I think the network got broke up for a second. Can you repeat your question again?
Okay, yeah. So I said I was testing a site this week. So I noticed they didn't follow standard convention for let's say password protection. So it
Okay.
wasn't for the password selection, it wasn't a standard convention like having minimum 8 characters and special character and the rest.
Okay.
So I want to know, like as a tester now, so when I write that test case and I
Mm-hmm.
fail it, knowing fully
Mm-hmm.
well that it wasn't implemented by the developer initially. So is that a right way to do it?
Yes, it's right. So, right, like I said, right, in the course of writing your test cases, you might actually cover more grounds than the acceptance criteria. And even if this was not covered, it's also important to have on the system. So that kind of functionality is you can just put along with the security. It's for security of the system, which everybody, both stakeholders, project manager, developers, QAs, everybody wants the security. Everyone that system to be tightly secured. So in that kind of case, you can fail it, so a developer can also just to remind the developer that he needs to work on it, and also to remind yourself to follow up on that field scenario.
Okay, thank you.
Already. Okay. Moving on. Ines, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. I wanted us to look at this one, but I can see that it's still the same thing. You already like
Who's,
some correction.
okay, this for Prince, or whose one
No,
is this?
this is Oluchiba, but it's the
Oh,
same this thing. I'm just randomly
yeah.
opening this thing, yeah. It's some
Okay.
correction that you've made, but do you want to say anything about this before I move to precision?
No, it's fine. I think we've said things about it. Just try to make your test cases more detailed. Your expected and actual results too. Then that just basically, I think that is what most of all these most of the test cases we have received now. That's what it just said. But besides that, the idea, the scenarios are nice. You guys all did a very good work. I'm really impressed. So just improve on making your test cases more clear, and that's just more clear and detailed. So there's nothing wrong with you guys just re-editing the document. Maybe after this class, you can just take your time and think of how you can improve the test cases. Then maybe you can look at it again. I think next class is about defects, so that would be
Yeah.
a nice. We can just look at it again. Maybe we'll just, instead of talking about the generality of the test case and executing it, talk about the ones that were failed. So concentrate more on the field aspect. They will show you guys how to write a proper a report with a proper defect. So yes, we don't have much time before we look at Prince. Because so sorry guys, we're not looking at anybody's on but Prince. But let's just open any random two test plan. Let me just see what was done in the test plan for the test
Please
plan.
open Adoye Ono. Thank you. Adoye test
Yeah.
case.
So how about you open your test plan instead? Okay, let's do that. If you have your test
Please,
plan.
I have a question.
Okay, Victor. Yeah, shoot.
Good afternoon. So I believe that a test case tells us what to test and how to test it. So when writing a test case, are we meant to put in the actual results?
Are you meant to? Yes, you are. You are meant to put in the actual result. So the expected result is what you, as a QA, expect the system to behave. Your actual result is what the system behaves. It is either it behaves like the expected, or it behaves different from what you expect. That's when we now have a field test case. You get?
Victor, do you understand?
Okay. So what is testing itself? Since we have, because to me, if you tell me that you have to write the actual result there, it seems you already tested. So what is testing or test execution itself?
So test execution. Yeah. So okay, I was going to explain that today, but with the whole review of the test cases. So now, when you're writing your test case, you leave your actual results empty. You don't also write your actual results. So remember that you already written your test case documentation, your expected results, your steps, and the description of the test case. That's the instructions themselves, right? So test execution is just basically you looking at your document, following your instructions, following your steps to execute them on the system. Then any observation you make is what you put in your actual results, which is how the system behaves. Then test execution is just basically documenting your actual result and updating your QA status. That's just test execution. The main work is test case writing itself. Does that answer your question?
Okay. I still have it, and probably I'm not actually clear. So you are saying
Okay,
that
ask.
kind of says that if testing, so it still means that if I'm writing a test case, not impute the actual result.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do something. Goodness, can you open Victor's test case?
That's what I'm looking for. Is it?
All right, this is your test case, right? So perfect. Perfect. Now look at your test. Your test case is a perfect example to explain your question. Now look at your test case. You've written your test, you've written your instructions, you've written your steps, you've written everything. You even give us your test data, which is nice. Now you have an expected result. So if we want to execute this test, we're going to actually, so we'll look at this test. We're executing the step-by-step process. We'll start from the first one. What's your first one? Verify that user can log in successfully with a valid username and password. You are now going to perform all these your steps. You're going to visit the website. On the username field, enter a valid username. On the password field, enter a valid password, and you're going to log in. You're going to use this your test data provided. You're going to log in. Now, what are you expecting? You expect that user should be logged in successfully into their Orange HRM account. What happens when you click on login? Were they able to log in successfully, or were they not able to log in? If they're able to log in successfully, you come and update it to your actual result. Users are able to users are able to log in successfully into their Orange HRM account. The status is it passed. That is test execution. Is that clear? Or am I going too fast, guys?
All right. He said it's clear. He gave a thumbs up.
Okay, all right. That's good.
Yeah.
So let's look at two test plan, then we'll move to Prince, then we'll move to the next thing.
We have one here. I just opened randomly. I think Adonye.
Okay. So this is the test plan purpose. In this test plan, we're focusing on the login design. Not login design. So it's not just the design, it's so functionality. So you don't say login design, but is cool. Scope all functional tests are executed like login. Okay. You give us your scope of test. Out of scope, we will not be testing the acceptance criteria documented in the design user story because we are not privy to the documents. We'll focus on non-functional like security and accessibility. So out of scope will be this is not really it's not so a better out of scope would be that you list out the other features on the system and see that is not what you are testing. So your priority just testing what is in scope, which is already you. So you listed out what is in scope, which is the login, forgot password, and the admin, not admin dashboard. It's not that. I think it's admin user management. Yeah. So that's what is in scope. Out of scope is the other functionalities. I think there is. I can't really remember what other features there are, but the other features. That's what you can list out. Then objectives verify. So your objectives is not so very so. So what you are doing here, this objective, you are listing out your test, which is not correct. So your objective is what are your objective for your test? That is at the end of testing, what do you hope to achieve? You hope to achieve that all these three functionalities are working as expected, and the system the system is okay. So that's just what your objective should be. Your test items. Okay. So this is wrong. Test items. So why do we have so you separated it. Yeah, you separated user management dashboard. So no, the feature, if I'm going, let me go back to the tags I gave. Let me see what exactly I wrote. So I wrote login, forgot password, admin feature. That's what I wrote, right? And yes, I do get that the admin feature is also like the user management, but it's not dashboard. So dashboard is different. And particularly speaking to this application that we're testing, you know that we have different modules. We have a dashboard module, and so just be careful of the naming convention you use. Okay, features to be tested. And so this your feature to be tested can also be called out in your scope. So there's really no need for that. Test strategy. Okay, you specified the test strategy, manual testing, test environment. So why is our operating software Linux? What are we testing? Why are we using a Linux system to test Orange HRM? So you should be careful of the things you input to your test plan, right? Because they'll be wondering now why using a Linux system for this test. Then browser version. I want to believe you are trying to write Chrome browser. So Chrome browser, Firefox, Safari, Opera Mini, mobile data network. So Yeah, you can specify the browser that you intend to use because there's applications that would not work on maybe Firefox and Safari. So maybe it only works on things like Chrome and Microsoft Edge. So it's nice to specify the browser, but also be very careful the browser you list and your spelling also too, so it will not cause confusion. And the operating system you are using, because I don't imagine anyone want to use a Linux operating system just to test this application. It's not that deep. So any Windows OS or maybe any you don't even need to specify the operating system since it's a web application, right? Except maybe it's like a mobile application where you specify if it's an Android application or an iOS application. Yeah. So let's scroll up. Yes, continue scrolling rather. Okay, so no need to specify the internet you are using, MTN Wi-Fi network. No. There's no need. So are you saying that it's only MTN that you work with the application? So there's no need to specify that. Or as all internet should be to work with your application. So there's really no need to specify that. The hardware device. And so too much information is not really good information sometimes, right? This information, they're not wrong, but it's not really necessary. So when I see hardware device, I'll ask myself that why are you putting a desktop Windows? Like, is there a reason for you putting a desktop Windows? I'll have so many questions in my head. Like, I'll be wondering, why is this needed? Is there like a special condition for testing this application? Whereas maybe we can't use like a tablet to run the application. So that's why. Entry criteria, application should be deployed in public domain so as to get access. Okay. The URL to the website should be made available for testing. Pick up a desktop should have started. A desktop computer should have started. Like I said, too much information is not sometimes it's not really good information. Okay. So system order test is ready to use. Exit criteria, all test case have executed. Okay. And I've passed 95%. Okay. So 75 criteria is ready for release. Okay, good. I like your exit criteria. That's actually very good. Test delivery, test plan document, test case document, test execution report, defect reports, responsibility. Okay. All right. You listed out. Okay, good. You listed out the people that you've listed our Cypress ambassador. Okay, that's nice. So risks and contingencies. Okay, unable to access user story for the design. Unable to access the story for the design. That's really. So why are you unable to access the user story? Is it that it's not available? So you need to also be careful before you put anything, because imagine if you're presenting this to the management, they're going to ask you, they're going to call you to a boardroom and ask you, if in presence of your project manager, that why didn't you have access to the user stories for this particular feature? So also be careful what you put. No functional requirement document for review or guidance. Okay. Just be careful what you put in your document. Remember what I said. Too much information can be bad information. So your last is time skills daily exploratory testing that lasts for 92. Too much information can be bad information sometimes. So yeah, but this is okay. Just need to just improve on the other few aspects that were not really necessary. Okay. So let's open a second test plan. Let's just open another one randomly. Okay, so this belongs to a film. Okay, introduction, probability assessment to define testing approach. Okay, good. That's good. Testing. Okay, listed out. Someone has their hands up. Olivia, you have your hands up.
Yes, but after you're done with her test plan, I just wanted to ask a question. Or should I go ahead?
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay, so in my own test plan, in the risk and contingencies, I said potential risk that may affect the testing process. And so I had a list.
Okay.
From what you're saying now, it's like I know, like in the real life scenario, it is what you experience, like when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
right? So, but
Yeah.
I just put like a list of things that could, affect the outcome of a test case.
So just like I've been saying, too much information is not really good information, right? So if there were no actual risks, if genuinely you didn't experience any risks, there's no need including risks. Like I said, some of these test plans are different, right? In some organizations, you might not will have such a field called risk and contingency plan, right?
Okay.
That will not be necessary. So it's not compulsory must have risks. You might imagine you're just testing. So okay, what are we testing? We're just testing login, forget password, and user management. There's really no much risks to it. It's different way of testing things like that involve payments, that involve a third party. They cannot think of putting risks that okay, the risk can come from the third party's API downtime. That you notice that when testing, at times the third party APIs were having several issues at intervals, so your test may not be accurate because of that, since it was factored on a third party on another person's integration. So those are risks that should be called out.
Okay, but in my mind, I was thinking the test plan comes first before the test case.
Yes,
So
your test
like that test plan should just capture, what and what can go wrong. So I was thinking, since there was no space for that in the test cases, then it wasn't necessary. And if we encountered anything, probably would be put like in the comments. That's what I was thinking. So there's no need to put it in the test plan if we don't envision any risk. Or
exactly.
does
So
the document come hand in hand? If I was to submit my job now, is it the test case that the person will want to collect, or I will put my test plan first and then submit my test case, or will I give it to the person together?
so try to remember your software testing life cycle. Which one comes first?
Test plan.
Good. So that's one that will come first. That always comes first. Your test plan always comes first. What do you plan to do? Now they have approved the plan. Go ahead. Go start writing
Okay,
your
now go
test
ahead. Yes. Okay.
Yes. But once you're done with your test case, the next thing, execution.
Okay.
Another. So are you okay with that? Before we go to the next person.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Giddy Films, your hands are up. You have a question?
Yes, good evening.
Yeah. Good
Good
evening.
evening, everyone. Okay, my question is, you said that too much information. Okay, um, how can we be sure not to fix in too much information when we are addressing an issue or trying to put possible cases that might come up? And you said that it's an indicator or something like that. How do we know when not to put in too much information? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. So sorry about that. Network got short off a bit. Can you just say the last part? I get to recap because you are asking. Just the last part.
You said it can implicate us, right? They can bring us into the boardroom and begin the questions. So how do we know that we're not going to put in too much information when writing out the test plan for whatever project or, you know?
Okay. Okay. So now let me put a scenario for you. You've just finished writing your test plan, and it is in your organization, it's normal for you to go on review, not virtual review, physical review. Now imagine that you are working with maybe you are meant to write a test plan for a very big and important project. You go into the office and you're presenting your test plan. Now, there are a lot of people that are going to have questions for you. Are you going to be comfortable answering those questions that for the information that you provided? If you, like I said, too much information can be bad. So if you are ready to defend yourself for why you imputed that information, go for it. It's fine. But me personally, I'd rather impute things that I know I can defend, because have it in mind that you are the one that created this test plan. So you're liable to whatever information is in this document. I'm not the one that wrote it, you're the one. So imagine you put in something like maybe as little as the test environment you want to use. Now, and and maybe a manager knows that this test environment does not exist, and he asks you, Mr. Films, how do you intend to test with this particular? How do you intend to execute this when you know this does not exist? Do you have any plan for us to provide to ensure this environment is ready? You don't want to look, you don't want to become found wanting, right? So that's why putting necessary information that you can actually defend. So as I said, too much information sometimes is not good information.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, you have another question.
Yes. Concerning what you said right now.
All right.
Yes, I get your point. So what if in a scenario where what you actually place is viable, it's possible for the indications to come up, right? And you saw it ahead of time and you choose to bring it out as a test, whatever plan, so that it can be worked on while building whatever software. What if you came up with that, even though you could not defend it, but it's something that along the line it might come up, even though at that point you might not really know how to solve the issue. And how do we solve issues when we know that something like this can always come up, even though we are not totally sure how to solve it? And because along the line, they'll always call you back, bringing the same issue for you to solve. So what do we do about stuff like that? When you know that, okay, this is what's going to happen along the line, maybe because the pattern among many test cases and apps or whatever project you're doing, it's a pattern that this problem always come up. So what do we do in cases like that? Even though what we wrote in the test plan, the risk can always come up one way or the other. So what can we do? Did you get my question?
Yeah, I get your question. I get your question. I'm looking for the right way to answer this. So in every organization, there's always room for improvement, right? In the process of protocols of doing things. Maybe like you just said, it usually happens. You know that there's this thing that usually happens, and maybe even if there's no like resources to get that fixed, so in that kind of situation, yes, you can call it out in your test plan, but like maybe you can leave in a section for improvement, right? So that's like you're trying to modify the current process or that's already ongoing. So in that case, yes, it's a nice to have. Then if they ask you, yes, you already have enough reason. So you have a reason for putting that. You don't just put any information in the test plan. Because they're always going to ask you, why is this here? So if you have your reason behind why it should be there, then no problem, you can go for it. Does that answer your
okay?
All right.
Yeah, I can see that now. But anyways.
So I think someone has us up before James. James, do you still need clarity? Okay, if not, we can just continue looking at the test plan.
Okay, I suggest we just continue with the test plan, then later we take questions after the test plan before we move to Prince's test case, so that we just
okay, all right, that's fine. So let's go to the test plan. Okay, so out of number application testing. So all right, this is good. All right, integration with external applications. Okay, this is very good. This is good. I need to verify features, users, to ensure. So instead of so for this, right, your objective is detailed. I don't know who is the owner of this, but your objective is detailed. But just don't try to list them out like instructions, because it's not looking like you're actually listing out your test case. Right, I get that this is the overall functionality, the overall objective of each module, right? Just summarize it. You don't need to list it out. It's always it would be nice to just summarize this instead of listing it out like this. What other that is perfect. Let's Keep on scrolling down. Goodness. Hi, goodness. Can you? Yeah.
Can
So
hear you.
test 10. Okay, login page. Okay. Okay. This is good. Ads existing. Okay. Role assignment, admin, says, okay, good. You've listed out your roles. Okay, this is actually very good. Scroll down. It just to be tested. Okay, login feature. There's no really need for you to detailedly give all this guide, but it's not bad. It's not bad to have it here, but it's not really 100% necessary. Except if your organization demands it. Otherwise, it's not really necessary. But this is good. Scroll down.
More.
Sorry, go up again. I got to see the number 4. Okay, this is featured not to be tested. I think we repeated. Yeah, okay, yes. So featured so if you have it out of scope, there's really no need for this. So it's like tautology in a way. So integration with okay. You even went into details. So recruitment, leave, performance module. Why do we have a recruitment? Are you a HR? So might be recruitment, leave, and performance module. This is not. I don't know why. I wish you're on the call to explain why you added this, but no problem. So scroll down. Email delivery validation. What is next? Okay, test primary manual test. So I think instead of test, this should okay. I'm sure you wanted to write test strategy. Yes, I'm very sure this number 5 was meant to be test strategy. Looking at what you have here. Question maybe actively for repeated tests using Selenium. So are you saying you plan to add automation tests? If not for time, I'd have liked to see what you put in your test case. Scroll down, test environment. And why is everybody putting hardware and software requirements now?
You.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, let's scroll down. You will give RAM and storage. So you're saying that if we have less RAM than this, the application will not work. Okay, except for smooth multi. No, this is too much information. You will give us the required screen. So if I'm using an 8-inch screen, the application will not work on my device. Okay, network stable. Too much information. Too much information. So scroll down. Okay, test management. Okay, good. Test is okay. You didn't use test real, so you only use Microsoft Excel. You didn't use Bugzilla. Why are you putting Bugzilla here? Okay, scroll down. Okay, give us your entry criteria. Your entry criteria should even be in the beginning. Should not be here, but no problem. Test environment, staging, working as expected, build confirmation, okay, deploy, test data prepared, okay, exit criteria, okay, testing that completed, test execution, test executed 100%, at least 95%, okay, passed, okay, good, that's a good exit criteria, test deliverables, test plan, test case, test data, okay, good responsibilities. You even listed the responsibilities. Nice. I like your team. You have a team lead and QA lead. You have test engineer, QA engineer. Okay. Scroll down. Okay, responsibilities. You have business analyst too. What a detailed. Okay, let's see your risks. How's everybody adding risks? Okay, let's see what kind of risks you added. Lack of test data, development downtime, engage, inadequate test coverage, prioritize. Too much information could be bad information. Scroll down. Okay, that's the last. Okay, so this is a very good. This is a very good test plan. It's very, very good. It's like I just besides the SS that were added, this is almost perfect. This is almost perfect. This is very, very good test plan. But we'll not be reviewing any test plan. So guys, you can just use the corrections that we've made for test plan to just improve your own test plan, and you can also submit it again. I don't think we'll be reviewing test plan in the next classes, just the test case for the field scenarios. So we have 2 hands up. Victor, your question again. So Victor, your hands up. You have a question. Or whose hands? Okay, if Victor is not here,
James.
James.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, hello,
James.
good. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, James, I can hear you.
Okay, so I guess what's happening here is that from the assignment, all those modules were listed out. So I guess probably everybody was just following it step by step. So we understand the idea behind too much information might be bad information, but if you probably check everybody's test plan, it's because that is we were
Sorry,
just
James. I'm not really hearing you. I think I don't know if it's your network or your mic. Can you
I
repeat?
think it's the mic.
okay. Can you hear me now? Is it clear?
It's a bit better, but let's see what you can do. Let's see what we can manage with that.
Is it okay now?
Yes. You can. Let's see what you can make do with this.
Okay, what I was trying to say is, we understand the what you've said about too much information, but I guess if you check everybody's test plan, you probably see the same thing because we were just trying to follow the assignment. If you check the assignment, all those modules or subtitles were listed out. Exit strategy, criteria, entry criteria, introduction, scope, out of scope, um, all of them were listed out. So I guess everybody was just following it the way it was given in the assignment. You got me.
All right. Um, Thank you, James. Phoenix. Hi, Phoenix. Hello, Phoenix. I think it's network.
My goodness, can I ask a question now that Phoenix internet is doing something?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Okay, so I'm just curious to know, like, I just so that I can walk myself like back. Is this the job? Like, if like software testing is just test cases and test plans, is this the whole job? I know there are different techniques, but it all boils down to test cases and test plans. Is that it?
There's testing so now.
Okay, there's yes, I know there's testing, but I'm just saying, like, okay,
There's book reporting.
okay, okay,
So no, it's a whole lot, don't worry.
okay, okay. Thank you.
So sorry. Pain and Ether are fighting over my life. Anyway, I'm back. So I had the question that Olivia asked. So being a QA is not just writing test plan and test case, it's a lot. There, this three much. You could be fortunate that your work alone is just only test case. You could be, I don't want to use the word unfortunate, but you could be, sorry, for a lack of better word, you could be unfortunate that you are doing everything. You're writing test case, you're writing test plan, you're doing API automation, you're doing UI automation, you're performing load tests, you are doing post-deployment checklist, you are documenting every procedures. So, but it's always good for every QA to know all this because you never can tell where what your job will demand of you. So knowing all this, like I said, you could be in an organization where you won't even write your test plan, but knowing all this is always nice to have.
Already. Thank you, Phoenix. Victor, you have a question, so we move
Yes,
to.
I'm here. Okay. So the last document that was checked, the person put software requirements and hardware requirements. And somebody said that ChatGPT, is that you? So now when considering the test environment, I feel that okay, we should consider the software requirements and the hardware requirements. So is it out of place putting it in the requirement in the test plan? That's my question. Is it out of place now putting it there?
Felix, do you want to go? Hello. I think Felix.
Yes, I'm here. Um, okay. Um, Goodness, can you go for me? Let me just.
All right.
I didn't really get the question, and I don't repeat him to repeat the question. Just can you take it in? If there's any comments about, I'll also add.
Okay, so just for clarity, if you notice some of the hardwares, I mean, we know the site that was given to us to look at what we are reviewing, right? And some of these are not necessary. I don't know if you get me. So it's not out of place to put it. But when you are putting, you should also put something that is consistent with what you have, the system you have. Or you won't tell me that I'm testing a website, then I need a Linux to test it. I don't know if you get. It's a website. You can now put Chrome or this or that. I don't know if you get, but it's not out of place to put a hardware when you're testing. But it should also be considered with what you have as a system, or what you have as the app or the system you're working with. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, Victor. All right.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. All right, James, your hand is still up. I don't know if.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So I think we are good. Phoenix. I am. So do you want to look at this now?
Okay. Yes, I was looking at it as you're scrolling. This also, is this not the same
This is
one we were looking
Princess.
at before?
This thing. What are you currently saying?
Oh, okay.
The test case
Yeah, I can see
53.
Features. Yes.
Oh, that's your network.
Features.
I'm showing a test case.
Is this person's test plan I'm looking at. Oh. What I can see is test plan. I don't know if every other person.
And share again.
All right. Okay.
My guess is your network. Yeah.
Olivia, I can see your hands are up. Do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to tell everybody that the link to the attendance is on the chat, because I noticed that they always ask after every class. So I just wanted to alert everybody.
All right, thank you, Olivia.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so here we go. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
My boss, let's say log out and log in again.
Shit.
Do you mind?
Okay, yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see your screen now. I can see the screen.
Yeah,
okay.
So you can just
I'll just be quick. Okay, verify the user cannot log with an empty email. Upon this, user should be logged in. Come again. Verify that user cannot log in with an empty email field. User should be logged in, and an error message displayed invalid input field. So Prince, don't you think you're contradicting yourself? You said verify that user cannot log in with an empty email. So already you know that user cannot log in with empty login fields, but you are saying user should be logged in. So yeah, you need to be very careful of what you put in, and then error message indicating required. Still the same thing. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? Let me just look at your scenarios. Let me just look at this. Just you're trying to. Okay, verify user cannot log in with validity. Okay, user cannot log in with valid password identity. Okay, verify. Goodness, can you scroll down?
Oh, okay.
Okay, Please scroll down.
Yeah. What are you saying now?
I'm still seeing the first 6.
Nah, I'm going down. I'm on forgot password now.
Oh God. I don't know what is wrong with this network. Okay, let me just let me just log out. Let me just log out. Okay, no, it's up now. It takes like a while before it reflects. Network is just frustrating. All right, verify that forgot password button directs us to a reset password page. Forgot password. Okay, like on clicking forgot password, user should be directed to. So your so for Prince, right? Your expected result is nice. I like it. Okay, some of them are detailed, but your actual results it's not as detailed. So I think so. You just need to just improve on your actual results, what you're writing, right? So let me look at this your failed scenario. Refer that the user cannot reset password with an invalid username. On the reset password enter, okay, invalid error message indicating invalid username. Just be more detailed. So you need to be more deep in your expected and actual outcome. So success message reset password link sent to cost successfully. But I think I remember that when Olivia was testing this, she said it was not even this feature was not working. So why is this feature working for you? Well,
Which
it's
one
fine.
is that then?
That is this forgot passwords. So he's
Are you
saying
sure
that he's
it's on
expect he,
is it the failed one?
yeah, the failed one, yeah. So he's
So if I
saying
the
that
user
he's
cannot
forgot
set
passwords.
it.
That's exactly. So he's saying that the system allowed him, okay, which is wrong. And I know it's been a while I checked the system, but I know that that feature
And click
does not exist currently.
message.
Okay. Okay, so let's scroll down to the admins.
Mhm. What can you see now?
I can see I think you're on the admin. Yes, you're on the admin side now. From test case 12. Refer admin page open on clicking the admin button. Okay. Refer that user management button is visible. Okay, user management tab is visible. So just so for oh you have to for Prince, you have to be a bit more clear on your instructions and your expected and actual results. Then verify add button is visible. Okay, so I like that you covered ground. I won't deny that. So you covered a lot of both functional and non-functional scenarios for for the modules that you are testing, which is very, very good. But I'm sure that's also why your test cases were a lot. So whenever the add user page opens on clicking add button, okay. With this kind of test case, to automate this kind of thing will be very easy because to be straightforward. They just know what they need to just your automation tester will be very happy when he sees this kind of manual test case. They'll be like, okay, so what I need to do is plenty and it's a bit detailed, but just need to work on your expected and actual um, results. I think that's where it's really lacking. Prefer the admin cannot add user when the input field is empty. Okay, on the form. Okay, goodness, can you scroll down?
Oh, okay. What can you see now?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think network is fair now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, okay, keep on scrolling, keep on scrolling. Let's see if he has any failed tests.
Mm.
Everything passed. I have a feeling that this test case is not for our system. I just don't know why. I wish Princess of the court to actually defend himself. But
Let me check.
I just have a feeling that this test case is not for this. It's not for the feature because
Is there?
it's looking
Is on.
okay. Yeah, so hi Prince. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, good
Good
afternoon.
evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so I was saying that your test case is wonderful, right? It's detailed, but I feel that this test case is not for this application. Can you would you like to defend that, or would you want to
Uh,
argue?
Actually, it is. I mean, I was trying to, because so it's basically most of the edge cases, right? I'm trying to see possible things that can go wrong.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah,
So, for
but
example,
it's
like
from the application.
okay, so the forgot
Sorry,
password,
from the what?
so the forgot password for the forgot password, you're saying that it's that feature is working correct?
Yes, yes, I think so.
Okay, let's see. So you're saying
Yes,
that
yeah,
email,
because I actually tried. You mean the
yeah, I forgot your password feature. So if you put in a user credential, the person will get the email for that reset control.
failed?
So when you
Yes.
put, so when you used, when you added, okay, yeah, I just tried it just now. So yes, it shows that it's successful, but I don't know if the email will be actually be sent out. But I've not actually tested that. And for us to test that, we need to create a new user with an email address and all that. So
Yeah. So
no,
looking at this now, I don't think he covered the email part. I think he's just saying about the success message and the failure message or maybe error message.
okay, let's look at that again. So success message reset password link sent successfully. Oh, okay, okay, I get it now. I get what you're trying to achieve. So you're trying to do reset password for a user that does not exist on the system. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, invalid username. I just read it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, 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 okay. That's really detailed. Okay, it's different from what Olivia was trying to achieve. Kind of. I can't really remember what she did, but I think it's different. Okay, that was really good. Yes. So this circuit is really detailed. I'm not lie, it's very very detailed. Just a few English correct, like if you so just try to make your expected and actual result a bit more clear. Other than that, every other thing is it's really top notch. So, if I was to say, I'll say you
All
and
right,
Olivia are
I'll
tied. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
If I was to do the rating, I'll say you and Olivia are tied. People are tied. I can't decide which is better than which. People are tied in my head. Maybe if I look at both of them, I'll decide the winner. But for now, I'll say people are tied. I like your detailedness. It's very detailed. And it's like an automation tester would love working on your test cases. But Olivia's own was just
Yeah.
well organized. So looking at Olivia's own, you just want to just it's like very easy to understand. So yeah, kudos to everybody that also did their assignment, would also look at it and will try to leave comments on the document. But for those that didn't give us access, just try to give us access um to the document so we can actually leave comments where needed. Okay, so we spent over an hour on just test execution.
Yep.
Well, I didn't think we are going to use, and I thought we were going to use 30 minutes, but it's fine. So, do we have any question on test case execution? It was more like a practical session. I didn't really explain much, but is there any question from anyone on test case execution? Any question? I think
Sorry,
that's about it.
was this the class? Test case execution.
So Yes. So
I thought we're doing correction.
no. So we're still going to talk. We're still going to talk about it. So we did execute the test case, right? Although it was more like, so we just combined both of them together. So I just used the opportunity to review the test cases to just correct mistakes while we executed the test case. But if you are still a bit confused about what test case execution is, you can just ask your question so we can just talk about it. It's just basically like I told, I can't remember what was it, James. I was telling that to Victor, that executing your test case is just you executing your instructions, right? So each test case that is provided you don't have your actual results. So test case execution is when you have your test case without your actual results and your QA status. So what you just basically do is you run your instructions, then you observe the system behaviors, you document the system actual results, and you give your QA status on it, whether it was pass or failed. Then if there's any need for a comment, you add your comments to it. So are we good with that? Okay. A lot of thumbs up. So I guess we're good. So I think what we'll just go into, we don't really have much time, but I'll see how I can speedily walk us through test summary reports. So let me just share my screen so we can just have a look at that. Test summary reports is also about that test deliverables, just like we have our test plan, right? So I'll just be showing us a sample test summary report, then I would explain what it contains. So just let me know when you can see my screen so we'll know when to proceed. My screen visible?
Yes, it is.
All right, that's nice. So test summary reports. So just like our test plan is just a document that indicates what the steps we want to do, like our plan to run our testing phase. The test summary report is basically reports of the entirety of the testing phase. It's just like a report, like a quick report, so that your line manager or your lead or your superior will just quickly just go through it and understand what happened in the course of your testing. So what should it include? What should it have? It should have a purpose. So what is the purpose of this document? The document explain the various activity performed as part of testing. You name your feature. You name the feature on the application. You name your application too. So you give a little overview of the application. What is the application about? That is not the feature, the application. So remember now, for the task, I gave you guys to test 3 modules, which was login, forgot password, and admin. But the application is called Orange HRM. So you need to give an overview of what Orange HRM is all about. So when you're testing that, you'll be able to know what the system is about. You just give a brief overview of it. Then your testing scope, basically what type of testing you performed there, then what was out of scope, the items that were not tested. So what was in scope? We list out your modules that you worked on, the type of testing that was performed. Out of scope, the type of testing that was not performed, the features that were not tested, that will be listed in your items not tested. So guys, I'm going to be a bit fast, but feel free to come attention so that I can explain anything you don't understand. So the next thing is the metrics. So metrics is just like a arithmetic summary of the whole test cases that were passed, the ones that were executed, and it's just like so usually it's not it's nice to have this kind of pie chart graph. Usually you pull it from if you're using something like Zafire, there's a place where you can pull the summary report. So you don't need to manually write, just take a screenshot of the summary report and you just paste it there. It will list out the number of test cases that were documented. So if you have like for, let's use Prince, for example, that has 53 test cases. If you can put 53 test cases, then what was executed? You list out everything. The whole 53 was executed. How many passed? So you can say 50 passed, 3 failed. So this is what your metrics is going to be all about. So anybody look at it will understand what happened. Then remember that in our test plan, we have our exit criteria. And our exit criteria is the particular percentage that should be covered in there's number of past tests that should be covered before we can sign off this project. Yeah. So if it's less than that, meaning that you can't sign off the project, you have to wait until the developers have fixed the pending issues, right? So moving on from that, so your number of defects, you also list out your number of defects, the ones that are open, the ones that are closed, the ones that stay in to do, the ones that were left. So usually it's not all defects that will be closed out. Maybe the ones that have very low priority, you just leave them open to be worked on in the next sprint or the next phase or next iteration, right? So you need to also call that out in your metrics. So we should be detailed here. All these are going to be detailed in your test summary reports. Then you can this graph, it's not really compulsory to have it, but it's a nice to have. If you know how to do it, do it. If it's required of you to have a graphical representation of the defect that was opened and closed, you also provide that. The distribution, okay. So this distribution, it can come in different ways, right? So this registration, booking, payments report, these are just the features that were worked on. They can list the number of critical. So we have different ways of classifying the defects, which will be covered in the next class. So ignore this part, right? I'm going to explain this in the next class when we talk about defects and defect reporting. So let's just move on. So yeah, like I said, your type of testing performed, if there was smoke test, regression, if regression testing was put in place, if there is, you have to give detailed information about that. Your automation test should have been running, since regression is just about automation tests. Your test environment, so you list out your URL. You don't need to remember, too much information is not necessary. So you don't need to call out the app server and database. You did not work on a DB, you did not work on the server. So you need to list that. So for your test environment and tools, you can just call out the application URL, that is, and provide and maybe specify which environments. So for this, you can just say it was a dev environment or UAT environment, whichever you want to put. So all this other information, like even myself, I don't know what this HPQs. Okay, I think QC will be quality control. Then I think ALM. I forgot what ALM means. Well, I don't know what this. I think this will definitely mean the server IP address or something. So it's not compulsory to add that, but you need to also add the application URL and the environment that was used. Lesson length. Lesson length can be like your recommendation, so it must not be called. So we even have recommendations here, Seth. So lesson length, what are they speaking to? This is used to describe the critical issues faced or solutions. So you can call this one your observe. Someone trying to ask a question. Okay, so lesson length, you can just call it your observation. So to say, like if you observe anything, like a way to improve a process, is you can just add it there. It's not a must-have. Remember, this is a sample document. This is not how all test summary reports should look like. Test summary reports can come in different, I don't want to say shape and sizes, but it can be different, right? So every test summary report still document is different. So you list out your recommendations, maybe if you notice anything that could use to improve the system. Best practices, this is not necessary. This best practice is not necessary. You don't need to add that. A test summary report is about the testing phase, so this is just doing too much. Best practices is not necessary. I would not add that, and I would not advise anyone to add this. Yeah. So Your exit criteria are very important. This is very, very important. So your exit criteria, you also call out what was called uh in your test plan, right? So you should just give list out the exit criteria. All tests should be executed. You should list out the minimum test coverage that is expected. You list them out. Then, if you have any high severity defect, you can list it out. Then your conclusion and sign off. This is usually what ends your test summary reports. Not even this definition. I think this is just them adding extra. But your conclusion and sign off. So your sign off is like your go ahead to tell the team that, okay, look, I'm done testing, everything works as expected, we can move to production. So usually sometimes, so either your sign off is in your test summary report, or at times you could be sent as an email. So instead of using a test summary report, you could send an email to the key stakeholders, or maybe your project manager, product owner, and your teammates, to inform them that, look, testing is all right, we've done testing, everything is okay, please deploy to production. Either you have your test summary reports, you have your sign-off mail, or you have your change requests. So all these can surface. All these are different documents that basically perform the same functionality. So that is quickly what a test summary. Okay, someone has their hands up. Hi, Gidi. Gidi. What do you have a question?
Hello.
Your hands.
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I have two questions.
So
First
okay, go.
is on as a result of the test plan. I went off the internet. Okay. Then the second question is to this one. First question is, according to responsibilities and test plan, is it compulsory to write the names of the people behind, or the responsibilities of the people in charge, the managers and other, for the test plan responsibilities? Is it compulsory? Then the second question is, are we what if you are doing a continuous project? For instance, we mentioned one of the classes using junior for junior. The first class we stated that if they were going to do a Black Friday, or they're going to do other sort of improvements or on the app, and people are going to be the team is going to be improving and changing and doing other things. Are we supposed to have a test summary document for every time we are going to do an improvement or a bonanza or something? Is it going to be done every time we're going to be running a test for an app, especially when we're going to do different um, shows and other things on the app? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to ask you.
Yes. I
It's
understand.
compulsory to write a summary case for every time you're going to do a Junior Black Friday, Junior Easter, Junior Valentine. Are you going to be having a summary case every time? These are two questions for now.
First question: responsibilities. To list out responsibility, who is responsible? So it depends. It's not a compulsory field. I think I've already explained the compulsory fields on a test plan. I think I mentioned that in the previous class. So that responsibility is not really compulsory. If your organization requires you to provide that information, then yes, you have to provide it. If it's not required, then you can just leave that. It's not really compulsory. So your next question. So as okay, let me answer. Okay, let me answer this way. For every feature on a system that is new, even if it's not a new feature, even if it's an update on a feature, you always test it. And a test plan is usually documented at the beginning of a sprint or an iteration, right? So you must have done your sprint planning, everything. You've already done what you already documented, or you've already decided on what you want to test for the 2 week sprint. So for that 2 week sprint, you need a test plan that you need to have a plan on testing activities on that feature for that period of time. Once you've done your plan, your test case, then your execution, then you have to have a summary. There must be some kind of reports, right, for anybody to easily just get an understanding of what you've done. So, like, digest it. So there must always be a report. Now, an instance now. So let me also say this. Like you mentioned Black Friday now. We could have a Black Friday period. Maybe maybe Junior decides to do Black Friday for 1 week. Now they roll out that feature. You already done your testing and everything now. But now they want to remove Black Friday from the system. You don't need to write. So since you're just removing a feature or you're disabling a feature, fine, you need to test and make sure that after I disable that feature, it does not affect the system. So basically, you're going to just run regression. Yes, you will need to also have a summary report for the regression that was done. So that just the summary report is just basically a report of whatever you did when you're testing phase. Whether you did manual testing, automation testing, loads test, you must have a kind of report that anybody in the organization can just have access to review and to also be brought up to speed on what the QAs are doing. So yeah. Are there any other questions? We have to answer.
I still have another question. Thank you very much for that one.
Okay.
Okay. You have a scenario where um, you are doing a test case for a company and you are working with them, but because of their is it greed or the way they behave, or they don't have a good managing system, they tend to give the app a published app already to a set of team who now gets to spoil or make some things malfunction on the app. Okay, and then the company now takes it back to the previous team that did it. Now, and you are now running a test. You've done a test for that, and now this lacuna is beginning to repeat itself, and you're becoming fed up of it. Okay. Now, what would you advise for the tester to be how to solve this and how to either we choose to continue with company or we choose to take our hands off it, or we choose to recommend another tester to continue project so we can fix other things because we published this app before and we solve this problem that this other thing or other persons have built the app. What would you say we can do such issues, especially when we want to take off our hands off or we are about to test the app again to make sure it's clean? What would you suggest and how can we solve that?
So
You
I
get the
always
question.
I think I got your question. So I always say this to all QAs, right? As long as they assign a project to you, you are the boss of that project. So until you tell, no matter how much the project manager or the stakeholders are shouting on you that you should finish testing, as long as if you're not satisfied with that project, you can't force it out of me now. I can't give you my sign if you're not satisfied. Even if yes, the particular feature was working fine, you outsourced it to another dev team and they have now cooked beans and you're bringing your beans back to me. I'll have my test cases that will fail all those things again. I'll definitely have my regression replaced to do if I don't have the time to manually go and be checking all those things. I have a regression that will run everything automatically, and I'll definitely have what's it called now? My regression will definitely catch all those field instances, and I'll report it that look, I can't go live with this until all these things are feedback, until all these things are fixed. So I'll sit back and relax till when they have fixed it. Nothing is going live until I'm satisfied with it. So yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hi, Olivia. You have a question?
No, I think what he said is I understand what you said about the DevOps part, because that's the only way somebody can, have a big impact on what a tester has done. But I think what I heard he said, he can correct me, is that um you've tested and then they gave it to another set of testers. I think he was, I don't know, what I heard is that the testers spoils the work or something.
No,
So, but,
I'm not sure. But I think
uh,
what you're saying is that you've tested, right?
no,
Maybe you
no, what?
have a dev team. Your dev team have given you application. You finish testing. Everything is working fine. Then the management now give that application to another dev team.
Okay,
So
no,
maybe
what? Yeah, what I heard is that the management gave it to another testing team. That's what I heard from what he said. Because if what you're saying is what he said, then it's a no-brainer. Only a DevOps person can spoil, like, and go and press another thing, and then another thing is happening when they started using this thing. But what I heard is that, oh, they now gave it to another testing team. So I was like, if they discover something, then it's also good because so that we're all working together. There's no way they can spoil your work. If you missed it, someone else
yes,
can catch it. Yeah,
yes,
but if that's what he said, then yeah, fine. I thought I heard otherwise.
yeah. So another QA cannot come and spoil your application. He will only just help you. There's some things that if you remember the principle of software testing, you can't definitely capture everything. There are some things you'll miss out. Obviously, you're human. Even AI too will miss out some things, right? So if another QA picks it up and you see it, that's why you always, it's almost as if users are usually quick to find bugs more than QAs because their eye of using the system is different from what the QAs or developers will use. So there's no application that is 100% bug free. No. So yeah. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's class. Today's class was really more practical and engaging. I liked it. So for the next class, please, is the next class is on defect reporting. So I think this will give us an opportunity to review the test cases that we sent out, but this time try to capture enough failed tests. Just I want to see bugs, right? I want to see bugs in your test cases. I want you guys to actually, you can even go broader than those modules. You can even extend your mod. You can go beyond just login, forgot password, and admin. You can go broader if you feel that it's nothing on those three modules. So go broader. Just make sure you have bugs. Because what you're going to be talking about is just bugs, and bugs. We want to look for bugs. It's going to be a bug hunting session. So, yeah, thank you everyone for having me. I hope you enjoyed the session. We'll see you all again next week. Have a lovely weekend. Bye, guys.
Please, can you share your LinkedIn username so that we can?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me share that on the chat.
Already. Hi, Phoenix.
Yeah, hi, goodness.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for today's class. You share the documents, yeah? I'll come to your DM.
Sure, no problem. I also gave the class what to do in preparation for the next class. So
Okay.
yeah,
Is it more like an assignment?
yeah. It's just for them to just review the test case they already submitted, just add more test cases, and also try to look for bugs on the system so they can extend beyond the modules that we already called out for them before now. So that's just it.
Already. Thank you.
All right.
All
So
right.
yeah, for anyone that needs it, I've shared my LinkedIn profile so you can connect with me. I'll be sure to connect back. Okay, guys. Oh, have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your Easter holiday and see you next week. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Bye. Okay, so guys, if you've not filled your attendance, please just in 1 minute you can copy out the link because once I end the meeting, you won't be able to have access to it. Just 1 minute. So by 5:09, I'm going to end the meeting. Thank you.
Hi, goodness. I sent you a message on WhatsApp. Please just go through it.
Already. Okay, Victor, I heard you. No problem. I'll look at your message. Okay, so guys, bye. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.